The city of Los Angeles is renowned around the world for being the home of the film industry. From the iconic Hollywood Hills to the studios in Burbank, there is little doubt that LA has a singular claim to this unique art form. But Los Angeles' urban epicenter, downtown, may have an even more unique take on the role film plays in the city.
The other of the two most important cities in the state of California is Los Angeles. In population, it is one of the first 6 cities of the United States. In area, it is one of the largest cities in the world.
From the beginning, the Southland's geographic diversity separated it from nearly every other region of the United States. Access to beaches, deserts, mountains, forests, and of course, Southern California's remarkably warm weather allowed a city that in 1880 featured only small buildings and a population of 11,000 to blossom into a young metropolis of over 1.2 million by 1930. But the geographic diversity of the land did not only make for a great place to live, but a great place to film. As film historian John Bankston puts it, there were rough terrains for the westerns, there were mountains, there were lakes. Downtown Los Angeles was a thriving city, so you got your urban shots. With Los Angeles continuing to boom, the film industry was never far behind. The story then for both film and LA can be traced to the era of silent films, with downtown LA's urban backdrop often substituting for New York in films produced by the likes of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. The entire country soon became familiar with LA's urban backdrop. Perhaps no film was as representative of this, however, as Harold Lloyd's hit 1923 film, Safety Last. The film portrays Lloyd as a fool from rural Indiana who would rather climb up a building than tell his girlfriend he's poor, a conflict that results in this iconic shot of Lloyd dangling high above a crowd of onlookers at 908 South Broadway, downtown. The downtown LA scene throughout the film is filled with packed streetcars, crowded department stores, and plenty of construction work. While the city shows only the inklings of the city we know today, that doesn't mean many of its features don't continue to play a part in its modern identity. In 1919, film stars Mary Pickford, D.W. Griffith, Charlie Chaplin, and Douglas Fairbanks, in an effort to maintain creative freedom as studios began tightening control over films, founded United Artists Studios. However, by 1924, the studio was already in trouble. Forced to either bring in new distribution money or concede defeat, the young studio hired Joseph Schenck as president. Schenck brought in independent producers like Samuel Goldwyn and helped revitalize the studio. Among his projects during his time with UA was a partnership with Pickford and Chaplin to begin building theaters under the United Artists name. This project most notably produced the 3-floor, 1,600-seat movie palace called, of course, United Artists Theater, and located at 929 South Broadway, downtown. Today, the building remains as the 13-story Ace Hotel downtown, completed in 2014. Part of the modernization project included the renovation of the United Artists Theater, which continues to house events. Schenck would go on to help form and lead 20th Century Fox, but his time at United Artists helped shape the city of Los Angeles forever. Schenck and Chaplin weren't the only investors interested in creating movie palaces, however. By 1931, Los Angeles' Broadway Theater District, running from 3rd to 9th Street downtown, had already become world-renowned for having the highest concentration of cinemas in the world. With 12 large-scale theaters capable of accommodating over 15,000 moviegoers in a single night, Los Angeles' Broadway reaffirmed the city's singular claim as the home of the film industry. More incredibly, many of the theaters, including the Los Angeles Theater, the $1 Million Theater, the Roxy Theater, and the Orpheum Theater, all still stand, and many are still open to the public. As the silent film era came to a close and new genres of film became more popular, the urban center of downtown continued to play a significant role as the backdrop of the film world. Perhaps no genre came to represent this as strongly as that of the noir film. Inspired equally by the detective novels of Raymond Chandler, most notably The Big Sleep, and the real-life burgeoning underground crime scene headed by mobsters like Jack Dragna and John Roselli, both of whom came to carry significant weight in Hollywood, the film noir genre became a perfect fit for a new era in Los Angeles. Movies like Billy Wilder's Sunset Boulevard, Robert Aldrich's Kiss Me Deadly, and George Marshall's The Blue Dahlia soon came to present a new, darker, more mysterious interpretation of the city.
Because this is a Hollywood story about the people who make the movies, the little ones that you never hear of, like Betty and me.
It was also during this period that buildings like City Hall and the Los Angeles Times building became synonymous with the complex web of law and media, not just in Los Angeles, but around the country. Film, and particularly film noir, were the natural reaction to questions of power, celebrity, and corruption in a city that had already become a symbol for glamour. By the 1940s, the shiny, idealistic persona of Los Angeles, however, began to fade. For a new generation of writers and filmmakers, Los Angeles was a place where as many dreams were crushed as came true, where there was as much grime as glamour, and where romance wasn't always the reality. Downtown became the ideal backdrop for noir, the symbolic representation of the conflict between perception and reality, something that would continue to shape the city's identity. In the years since the noir era, however, downtown Los Angeles has had an uncanny ability to adapt itself for nearly any variety of film. There's the science fiction dystopia of Blade Runner, the science fiction utopia of Spike Jonze's Her, action adventures like Beverly Hills Cop, Independence Day, Terminator, Speed. There are times downtown LA is disguised, as New York in Ghostbusters, even as Pittsburgh in 1983's Flashdance. The city is sometimes even there without acknowledging the fact, such as in Fight Club. Nonetheless, many of downtown's landmark buildings remain recognizable, so much so that their appearance in film and television can be easy to take for granted due to their familiarity. There is, for example, the Bradbury Building, standing at 304 South Broadway, which is featured not only as the setting of Blade Runner's climax, but also in 1974's Chinatown, as well as more recently in 2009's 500 Days of Summer, to name a few. While the building may appear to be only a run-of-the-mill old brick office building, its glass ceiling, spacious interior, and unique lighting have led Slate.com to label it the biggest architectural movie star in Los Angeles. Besides the Bradbury, there is also the luxurious 35-story Biltmore Hotel, located across the street from Pershing Square, and home to over 70,000 square feet of meeting and banquet space. The building, originally constructed in 1923, and perhaps most noted for its spacious and lavish interior, has since accumulated film credits like Beverly Hills Cop, Pretty in Pink, Pretty Woman, Ocean's 11, and Wedding Crashers, among others.
Axel Foley, I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, it's all right. You guys probably just made some kind of mistake with reservations. Why don't you just give me another room now, go up and go to sleep?
I'm sorry, sir, but there are no rooms available.
The Bradbury and Biltmore, while among the most prominent, are not alone in their frequent film appearances. Locales like Union Station, the 2nd Street Tunnel, and Figueroa Street's Westin Bonaventure Hotel have all acquired a lengthy list of appearances on their own. The city landscape's intimate relationship with film is a reminder that while Los Angeles is home to many actors, in many cases it also is one itself. The development and expansion of the city has never been fully without controversy. Areas like Echo Park and Los Feliz that were once home to large Mexican-American communities have shifted towards an increasingly white and young population, leading to many claims of gentrification. Similar claims have arisen thanks to the conversion of many aging downtown buildings into luxury condominiums. With a landmark $2.6 billion football stadium expected to finish construction in the primarily African-American neighborhood of Inglewood in 2020, the conversation regarding these issues will assuredly continue. Nonetheless, the shifting identity of the city serves as a reminder that the landscape itself is as dynamic as the art form it so strongly identifies with. The story of Los Angeles, and those who call it home, will always, just as it has always, continue to find its own reflection in that special form we call film. For more, be sure to check out this year's Downtown LA Film Festival.